All right, what's up, family?
What's up, fam?
Hey, just keeping it real with Charles and...
Melendia.
Yep. Hey, look, family, we want you to subscribe. We'd like for you to comment on our content. Give us some feedback. We'd like for you to like the video. And if you would, please click that notification button so you'll be notified whenever we come out with new content. All right. So, who are we? You're probably asking.
We are
relationship advocates. What does that mean?
That means that we publicly support and recommend
the strengthening
of healthy relationships.
That means yours and ours.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to ask you, what is our purpose?
Our purpose to empower all people.
All people.
In the hope of building a stronger world, stronger community. Everywhere. Everywhere.
Yeah. All right. So look, all right. So we've got some things that we want to share with you today. If you have a vehicle, you know that at times you need to get it maintained. You need to have maintenance on your vehicle. Right? Mm-hmm. Even with your bodies, you have maintenance, or you have checkups, yearly checkups on your body. Well, there's one thing that we neglect a lot. What is that?
Maintenance, checkup, and assessment on our marriage.
Sometimes we got to check up on the relationship. So that's what we're going to talk to you today. What my wife and I, thank you, baby, for the years that you've given me in marriage, and even before, just 7 before we got married. Yeah. And we've learned a lot from each other. And as we say that we are a work in progress. Mm-hmm. So our relationship, we're not, quote, there. We're still a work in progress. We still make mistakes. And again, we share those mistakes with you because, again, we want to improve or learn from our mistakes and improve our relationship. Yeah. So today, we want to share with you, and we ask that you follow along with us. Do the same, because we will do a marriage assessment right here today before you. And we're opening up, and we're going to talk about our marriage. Yeah. So stay tuned, and we're coming back, and we're getting it done. So we're back. Now we'll get into our assessment of our marriage. Okay? So what we're going to do, we both have separated questions. We've got a total of 8 questions. Melendia's going to take 4. I'm going to take 4. We're going to show our answers, and we're going to answer according to a number system of 1 through 4.
And we don't know what each other is going to answer.
We don't know, but we'll find that out as we go. Mm-hmm. So the numeric system is this. Number 1 means strongly disagree. Mm-hmm. 2 is disagree. Number 3 is agree. Number 4 is strongly agree. So with that in mind, I'm going to ask my beautiful wife to take the first question.
I'm going to see if he's going to say how beautiful I am if I don't answer right.
You're still beautiful regardless of how ugly you may act with your answers. Go ahead.
Okay, so my first one is, my spouse and I have different means of resolving conflict. Okay. Since I read, you're going to give your answer first.
Really? That's your rule? Okay, we'll follow it this time. Okay, all right. So I said, number 4, strongly agree.
And I said 3, strongly agree.
No, agree.
Oh, 3. Sorry. Agree. Sorry. 3.
Okay.
Agree. And the question again is, so we'll know, my spouse and I have different means of resolving conflict.
Elaborate.
Well, we tend to disagree, rarely, sometimes. And I have a way of how I feel it should be resolved, meaning I change based on what the conflict is. Mm-hmm. So,
Wait a minute, what does that mean?
I'm going to tell you what it means.
Okay.
So it could mean that if we are in a heated conversation and we needing to resolve this conflict, I may want to talk about it, which is rarely. But then then there's times where I don't have nothing else to say. I don't even want to talk about it. I'm done, and I'm going to walk away.
Okay. So with me, the approach I take, let's weigh out the disagreement. Is it worth it to keep on, to dig deeper? I asked her, is it worth it? If it's something that is, well, I guess sometimes I may judge minute, that might be fair or unfair. But if it's not a big issue, and I'm saying sometimes, as the saying goes, choose your battles, sometimes I'll tell her, let's just squash and keep walking over it. Because some things are not that important. So we handle or we do totally different in some areas.
So, but the problem sometimes comes with that is when he determines what is important for me.
Okay.
So that's where it becomes conflicting and how we're going to resolve this. So,
Sure.
I do agree that we do have different means of how we resolve the conflict.
Sure.
And I get irritated because I feel that he weighs out and it becomes whatever he say.
Oh, wow.
So,
Cameraman, could you edit that out, please? No, that's the reality.
Right?
That is what it is. Yes, yes. So, and I accept that. Okay.
Okay.
Can we move on, my love?
Yep. Go ahead.
Okay. No hard feelings.
Nope.
Nobody. Okay. We cool.
We cool.
All right. Okay. All right. So now we go on to the next question.
Okay.
I'm going to read this one. My relationship is a top priority in my life. Okay. Since I read her rule, you have to go first.
Okay. The question again was?
My relationship is a top priority in my life.
And my answer is 4. I strongly agree.
I think she copied me, but that's okay.
What?
You remember that in school. My answer is 4 as well. Definitely. You are a top priority in my life, man.
And you are a top priority. It's important, and it's good that we see eye to eye on that because
Sure.
When it becomes less priority on one, then somebody is being left out. Something is not being focused on. So I can say that we both
value
the
relationship. Yes, even though sometimes we may not see eye to eye, but we see eye to eye on the value of our relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
So the next one is little arguments turn into major confrontations. Okay.
Do I supposed to go first?
You first.
You sure?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about that. You made up the rules?
Yeah.
I'm just trying on this one. So, exactly. I have to say, number 4. Strongly agree.
I said agree. You want me to respond since I...
Go ahead.
Okay.
That's fine.
Because, granted, we deal with that. It could be something very small, and it turns into something big. But I guess I waited on how often. Maybe that's kind of how I answered it. Mm-hmm. If we did it out of 10 times, I would say maybe half of the time that happened.
Okay. Well, for me, we did mention that on our 35th anniversary, we did a special, and I talked about my wife being from up north and me being from down south. So sometimes we miss each other's communication in the process, and we kind of get lost into it. So the little things that we end up talking about, they end up turning to big things. And sometimes we say the same thing.
Yeah.
It's just the way they say it up north, I guess. Okay, I'm just kidding. No, actually. No, it happens often, though. And we can be saying the same thing and agreeing with the same thing, and it'd be like, oh, you saying that because I said it. No.
I get, too, when we talk about little arguments, it's just little. Sometimes I get frustrated that this was something so simple.
Sure.
And why did it have to escalate to where it's at? You know, and most of the time it has no value.
Exactly. Oh, wait a minute.
I didn't say the relationship.
No, to you. But how do you know it may have? No, I'm going to hit her with her. No,
I'm just saying.
That's what I do
most of the time, it could be something as simple as. I'm going to tell y'all something. Something as simple as.
Hold up. Wait a minute. I need a heads up on this. You can't do this to me right now.
Like,
she can't
do
it.
Go ahead. I had asked him last night.
You're not going to do this, are you?
If he wanted a snack. Right?
Sure.
Well, as usual, you know, he was drifting in and out when he was watching TV. And he said no.
Usual. Wow. Okay. That's what we do.
And he said no. And then shortly after that, he kind of woke up, got up, went into the kitchen, and came back with a snack. Now, I ain't going to say totally what I said, but I was like, really? I thought you didn't want a snack. Now, I'm not going to get into the whole little silly thing, but that turned into such a major confrontation.
It did.
That was just an example of something really stupid.
Yeah, and it really didn't have to go.
It really didn't have to.
And it was really one of those things like, if we had to choose our battle, would we have chosen that?
Not work.
Because it had no value, no value at all. But we see that now. And that's sort of times you got to not allow the enemy to come in and cause conflict between you over nothing.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
Okay.
So, my question is, I am supportive of my spouse's goals and aspirations.
So I'm answering it for me, of course, and my answer is 3. Agree.
My answer is number 4. I strongly agree with that.
Now, I'm going to tell you why I say 3. Because I have been not as supportive over our years. Because I'm a pretty big skeptic. But it's never been intentional. It's never been intentional to tear down your mojo, your drive, or anything like that. It's mainly because I'm skeptical and I don't want to lose a whole bunch of money. So, but I'm hoping that I've gotten better over the years, but I still have room for improvement. So I do support. I do support his goals and accomplishments, not after the fact that it hits big and stuff like that, but...
Right. I don't want you into that. Oh, it made what? Yes, I'm supporting. No, let me... Go ahead, sorry.
I do support, but I still feel that there's room for improvement.
And I appreciate you and even the support of growth that you had over the years, because I've only brought her probably over 1,000 business ideas that I put before her, and she's been so skeptical, and some of them we've actually lost some money, on. So I can understand that, but my thing is, I always tell her, to a degree, you have to chalk up some of it as education, and you have to keep it moving, and you have to keep on till you get something solid in that. So, and I think we're kind of approaching that area. We're there to a degree. We're approaching there, and we're improving on that status. And my thing is that I've always tried to be supportive of her with business ideas. I said, well, honey, what can we do? Can we get it going? When we did our business child care, we did that. And any other business, even ones that we're working on now, very supportive, educational, when you were going for your master's. Yeah, so I always wanted to be there as a support. And like I say, that's me. I'm not bragging on that, but I do believe in being supportive.
And I must say, in front of everybody, he has.
Even with our children.
100. He is very supportive. Because there's times where I was about to quit, and I was done with certain things. And with his, support and, keeping me inspired, he's been very inspirational and supportive.
And I appreciate that, love.
Okay.
And that's what we are for each other. That's what we should be for each other, to support each other's aspirations and goals. Okay.
Okay, so my third one is my spousal partner and I share spiritual time together.
Okay.
Wait a minute, go ahead.
It's on me. So I'm going to show my answer, and I'm going to say 3 on this one, that I agree. Why didn't I do a 4?
Wait a minute, we're going to get back to that.
That's all right, we get back to it. Yeah, I got you.
So, I said, I strongly agree. And the question again is my spouse, partner, and I share spiritual time together.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah.
You
want me to? Okay. I'm going to elaborate. Okay. So what I'm saying, I chose a 3 as an agree, because I have mainly been doing strongly agreed, and now I'm backing up. But no, I'm not really. But what I'm saying, there's always, you mentioned something last time, always room for improvement. I think that we can improve our spiritual growth even more intense or more. So that's why I say, because there's room for that. And that's why I say agree on that one. And we do spend the time. Yes.
I agree with that, but I guess I'm looking at as the here and now and what we've done. I mean, we've carved out time. We utilize time with our kids and do FaceTime and with my mom and things like that we kind of do together. So,
and I would say more than what we've done in the past.
Right.
But
we've always kind of had our spiritual time together. So.
And even going through the Bible, we have a Bible reading that we've been going through. We went through last year, but we're now in the book of Job. So we are doing something positive. And I'm not saying that as if we're not, but I think we have room for improvement. That's all I'm saying.
Because basically that is the part that, in that one question, where we talked about the value. Because we value our marriage, and we have an understanding, you have to walk and answer these questions for yourself. But we have an understanding that a spiritual understanding of marriage, that's very vital.
Very important.
So therefore that's, studying and coming together. Because some things I still have questions on when, when we come, through that. So that's important. Okay.
All right. So we're there. All right. So my question is, communication is a major challenge in my marriage.
Okay. Read that question again.
Communication is a major challenge in my marriage.
Well, I say 4. Strongly agree.
Wow. I say 4. Strongly agree. It's a challenge. Yes.
Well, not because I'm from Maryland and he's from South Carolina, but it has a lot to do with even some of the resources that we have read as far as men from Mars, women from Venus, or sometimes we're on 2 separate planets when we're communicating. Yeah. So at times, and like you said, we could be saying the same thing, but sometimes I feel like, it must sound better when it comes from you.
That's what I say.
We recognize that it's a challenge. And sometimes we have to step back, and he does it more so than I do, because I do get really frustrated. Step back and say, wait a minute, aren't we saying the same thing? So I think we both agree.
Yes. So, and I think a lot of the gap in most relationships, the male, the female gap, or that thing where we tend to have it a challenge to understand each other, from a male-female perspective. That gap is there, and the thing about it, so that has a play in how we process. I think some of how we talk, it has to do with, I think, our upbringing. Sometimes things are different there, may mean something different. And a lot of this come into play. The North and the Southern thing has some part of it. But yet, overall, there is, we do have challenges.
And also,
Go ahead.
Our upbringing.
She's younger too.
Yup.
No, it's not that much difference. Not that much difference.
I'm just saying our internal,
Sure.
our home, our upbringing, what we brought to the table. We both, I came from a single family.
Sure.
My mom, who was superwoman to me, who raised me and my daughter. So me and my sister. And, he had a family of mother and father in the home.
Sure.
So a lot of that has to do with the communication. So my last question is, we both have a strong support system in place.
Okay, so me?
Mm-hmm.
Well, my answer to that one would be number 2, I disagree.
My answer to that one, and I'm going to tell you, I was a little torn between 2 answers. So I'm going to, when we say it, I'm going to elaborate where I laid in both. I said 3, which I said agree. But I am torn between 2 and 3.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why. Go ahead.
Well, my reason for saying 2, I disagree. In our past, or in coming up, we had over the years we've had that's a church support system that we've been involved with. But for the last few years, my lovely wife and I, we've been each other's support system. Concerning our marriage, concerning spiritual knowledge and our spiritual growth, we've been, and I say that because we've had a couple of support systems that we felt were strong, but then in the end we found out that they were not as strong as we thought they were. Mm-hmm. So that's been a disappointment with the support system. Mm-hmm. Yet there are people that we're close to that are supportive. So in that, we are building a support system in you.
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
And my answer is similar to his explanation as well. But I guess my answer is right now. Mm-hmm. And it had to grow to this point, and we're still working on it because yes, prior to we had no good support system in the church, and I don't even know, back then, 35 plus years ago, early in marriage, that even though we were trying to build something in the church system that we were in, but it wasn't reciprocated as what we were trying to do. So I think back then we were pulling on each other, but we needed a system to help pull what we were dealing with. Mm-hmm. So we were able to kind of escape a little bit from that from outside people, like nurses, things to help build and connect our marriages, stuff like that together. So as time has gone on, up until this time that we are now, we're still working on building good connections, good relationships and things like that. We have some people that we are associated with that have great resources that we connect with, that we and we'd be happy to put some of those resources on there. And as well, this is what we're trying to do.
Right. And within the last year, or maybe going on 2 years, we have met some people that have become a good resource for us.
Absolutely.
So I say we are in the process of putting a very strong supportive system in place.
Yes. So we still continue to be the support system for each other. Right. But it has been helpful, even for some of this younger generation, like my daughter has connected us to certain resources that are out here that we can put things like this, the podcast, and things out for other marriage couples and young people and people who are, been working through this thing for much longer than we have.
Right, absolutely.
That are great avenues to, talk about what we go through. So it's become a lot easier I think as time go on, and we're still learning each other and learning to build our marriages as great support systems.
My last question when we come back.
Okay.
We're back. This is my final question. You ready, my love?
I'm ready.
I communicate openly to my spouse concerning my sexual needs.
Oh.
Since I read the question, her rule, bam, go ahead.
I say 3. Agree. And I do have a...
I mean, we wait to expand.
Okay.
Okay, so, all right. On this question, number 4. Strongly agree.
Well, here's the question that this one has grown into a 3. It hadn't always been a 3. It was times it was a 2. And I don't know if it's just a female thing or a woman thing, or it was just a me thing. But it's times where I did not want to express my sexual desires, or what's the question?
It says I communicate openly to my spouse concerning my sexual needs.
Early on in marriage, no, I did not. I just let him do his thing.
Oh, really?
Really? And I did not openly communicate. Mm-hmm. This has become a progressive agree. We've been going through this thing for almost 36 years, so I'm more expressingly open now. I feel I still can be more communicating to him. Yeah. Yep.
Okay. All right. Let me expound a little more on that question.
Yeah, because he was strongly agree.
I say strongly agree because, number one, and I've always said, try to be honest, try to be straight up, and I ask her, give it to the brother straight. Number one, I'm able to deal with it as long as you do it in a loving manner. Don't try to hurt a brother now, okay? But if we can talk straight up, you tell me if I'm not hitting the spot or whatever I'm not doing, you let me know. That's what I'm saying. So I've always been that open with her. And I say, even concerning her needs, tell me. If it's there, nope, let a brother know. So I've always been that open.
Too. Yeah. We see how that's important in marriage as far as having that communication with your intimacy, around your intimacy. So because he does it in that time back then, me not expressing and communicating to him my desires, he didn't know. So, and I think a lot of mine was, I was naive, and as well as I was afraid of how it would make him feel if I told him something different than what he thought that he had going on. And
and my thing is with that, I'm saying, and I've been honest, over the years to the point to say, hey, if a brother not hitting the spot, let me know. That's all. Hey, whatever means to you, that's all right. But I'm just telling you. Okay. All right. So now, guess what we got? We have got a bonus question.
A bonus
question.
Okay.
You want me to take the bonus question?
You take the bonus question.
I'm going to take the bonus question.
Okay,
here we are. All right. So the question is, I am greatly satisfied when it comes down to sexual intimacy with my spouse. It's a long question. A long statement. A long statement. Not a question, but a statement. That was a long statement. So that assessment. You need me to read that again?
Yeah, read that one.
Okay, I'm going to read it again, y'all. Okay, I'm greatly satisfied when it comes down to sexual intimacy with my spouse. Greatly satisfied.
Greatly satisfied. Greatly satisfied?
It ain't just satisfied, it's greatly satisfied.
So when
the greatly come in there?
When it greatly. So when it greatly. So
since I read the question, my wife's rule,
No.
Abide by.
You know what we're going to do?
We're going to do it at the same
Do it at the same time.
All righty.
Greatly. Ready?
1, 2, 3. Bam.
Oh, you greatly? What? You greatly?
Are you greatly? You greatly?
Oh, okay.
Y'all, we got to turn this thing off because we got some business to take care of.
Anyway.
No, I'm just kidding. So, go ahead. Elaborate, my love.
Well, that's no elaboration.
I want to hear.
Totally, we understand. Anyway.
Tell it, brother. Okay. All right. Listen. Go ahead.
I hope that you take these assessment tools seriously. You know, you can come up and make up your own assessment questions.
Right.
We can put ours up, and if you want to use some of ours, we'll put that as a resource as well. And be honest about your answers to each other.
Yes, be honest.
You know, we still got a long way to go in our marriage. I mean, it's
a work in progress.
It's a work in progress.
Yes.
And there's a lot of struggling marriages out here. A lot has to do with communication and intimacy and, you know, trust issues and things like that. So we're going through a rough patch in society right now in this whole culturally interesting dynamic world that we're in.
Yes, more stresses than normal for a lot of people.
So that means you're together more.
Yes.
And then you've got to...
And even with being together more, it doesn't necessarily equate to more intimacy.
Right. Right. And sometimes it can stress you all apart because being together more, you're actually becoming more transparent with each other to say, I'm with you all the time. How am I handling this? How can we handle this? And sometimes it don't go very well.
And sometimes even with social distancing when it comes down to the intimacy part. So we do wear a mask when we... I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
When we go outside, whenever we go outside. So anyway,
okay.
You know, I'm appreciative of this assessment.
Did you? I mean, you enjoyed this going through? Yeah,
I did.
And me too. I think it really. And what we want you to do the same. Spend time talking it out, discussing. The thing about it, don't go for the juggler and try to hurt each other's feelings. No. Try to build up your marriage. Build up how you answer. Be soft, be easy, but be truthful and honest.
Mm-hmm. And in your relationship, if you haven't gotten married yet.
Yes, right.
You know,
yes.
Talk through these things. And this will help determine whether or not...
Compatibility.
Absolutely.
You know, is this the one? You remember we talked about questions asked before you say I do.
Right.
Is that a deal
maker?
Or is that a deal
breaker?
You got to decide.
So we can go back to that. Tune
right.
into, you know, look back on our other podcasts on that too. But just seriously, guys, I mean, we want to be as supportive as we possibly can and supportive to each other.
Yes.
So
comment. Send us your comments.
Please
respond. Tell us the thing. And we want to hear what questions you came up with.
Yeah.
And how you responded.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yes.
And we can kind of put that together some kind of way in some kind of card game or something.
So until next time.
Until next time.
We love you. Stay believing.
Stay safe, guys.
Stay safe. Love y'all.
Bye.
All right. See ya.